as whenever we go on to FS1, it is normally very, very quiet. The ratings fall off a cliff. Obviously, there's some really fun stuff going on with SmackDown at the moment. We've got a open challenge from Ronda, and there's big rumors and reports that there should be someone tasty that's going to be answering that. We've got a mystery partner for Hit Row, and we don't know who that is. But there's a mystery partner for Hit Row. We've got the return of Roman Reigns, and it's been confirmed that the main event tonight is going to be a Bray Wyatt promo. Bray Wyatt is there in person, and it is believed, and as I said, been reported by Fightful, that the main event tonight is going to be a Bray Wyatt promo. Now, that's more than enough, isn't it? I mean, there's loads there. We've got a mystery person who's not really a mystery person taking on Ronda. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say. But there is a mystery person. We've got Bray, which there's some interesting reports, actually. I don't think it's going to be that big of a spoiler if I tell you what the news is there. It's interesting, and we can definitely get into a conversation on that. And then, as we said, Roman Reigns comes back, because don't forget, we're only a week away from Crown Jewel. We are 1 week away from Crown Jewel. So, yeah, lots to get excited about, lots to get our teeth into. LS Dub is chomping at the bit. Absolutely wants to get into it. So, let's have a look at what LS Dub is saying. I just want to make sure that I'm all nicely set up. I am. LS Dub, hope you're well, buds, says, LS Dub says, hope you're well, and I'm excited for tonight. Yeah, to be honest, I feel like that's going to be the general feeling, actually. I think there's a lot of excitement out there, and rightfully so, because this is a stacked show. This is one that's really, really going to have people talking. Charlie said, with what's happening on social media regarding the Paul brothers, do you think WWE will book Logan to win, or will they have Roman win? They'll have Roman win. So Roman will be victorious. I've got little doubt about that. I think they'll make Logan look good, though, and it could be that he's cheated thanks to Sammy or Solo or the Usos or all of them. It will be interesting to see if someone like KSI gets involved. If you're putting Logan in the main event and he's going into it not stupid, right? Clearly, it's not going to be like Jake Paul that's going to come down or anything, because Jake's got a fight this week. Obviously, he could make an appearance, but I don't see it. I don't see it being Jake, to be honest. I think Jake's got more than enough on his plate at the moment. I don't think he needs to be going over to Saudi Arabia and, you know, doing something over with like Logan. So I don't think Jake comes down. I feel like there's a real outside chance, and it is very outside, but I feel like there's a real outside chance that KSI might show. The only reason why I say that is because any opportunity to promote Prime, they're going to promote Prime. And with Logan being in the main event, he's got to be going into it knowing that he's outnumbered. I mean, just from a kayfabe point of view, you go into that match knowing that you've got to deal with the bloodline, right? You're not on your own. You've got to deal with the bloodline. You're going to have your hands full. So you are surely not going to just go on your own. If you went on your own, you're an idiot, right? Look at Drew, idiot, yeah? And he, in all fairness, had Tyson Fury in the crowd. Don't know how much he arranged that and how much it was WWE just inviting Tyson Fury. But maybe Drew thought that Tyson would help him out in some way. And, you know, he dealt with the Austin Theory problem for him. But maybe Drew would have liked a little bit more help. Like maybe Solo could have been dealt with. But either way, you can't deal with Roman on your own. So it does make me just wonder as to whether we might be seeing like KSI or I don't know what other friends he's got, the other people he does a podcast with. I have no idea, right? If he's going to do it on his own, then that's, you know, he's going to lose. I expect him to lose even if someone comes down. I think the numbers are just going to be too great. Even if KSI comes down, throws a few shots, You've still got Solo, both the Usos and Sammy to try and contend with. The numbers are just overwhelming. So, no, I feel like it's a big platform for Logan. It's the main event of a WWE show, not just a B show in an arena, but like one of the Saudi shows that tends to get a little extra coverage because obviously being in Saudi Arabia is very controversial. But not only that, like sometimes we've had some big crowds in Saudi Arabia. I actually don't know where the venue is for this one, but certainly not going to be like 10,000 or anything like that. At minimum, I would expect 20,000. So it's going to be a decent size show. It's going to have eyeballs on it. He's in the main event. We can argue about that till the cows come home, but he's in it. It's him against Roman. And I think that they will make him look good, but no way do I see him winning the titles. No way. Roman has had these belts for he's well over 2 years now, actually. Over 2 years, Roman has been champion for, and I just don't see why you would drop the belts to Logan Paul, to be honest. I don't think that is the right way forward. I think people are seeing him as being a bit undeserving being in this spot. And I don't think him winning builds him up and makes him look credible. I think it actually does the reverse. I think it's cringe, to be perfectly truthful, because it's so see-through. It's so fake. You can tell exactly what they're doing. They've said they want the Logan fans, right? They talk all the time about his social media following, about how many subscribers he's got. Like, they don't talk about his skills. They talk about his following, and it's very clear as to why he's in this position. Look, I'm not a fan of it. I'm probably not as down on it as what people would imagine. And the main reason is because, like, you can see why they're doing it. Like, it's right there. They're not even hiding it. It's not like they're making out that he is the number one contender and he's deserving and all this kind of stuff. They're telling you to your face. Like, he's here because of his following. And he says, I'm a disruptor and all this kind of stuff. This is what I do. I put myself into positions that people don't think I should be in. Like when he faced Floyd Mayweather, for example, in the boxing. Like, who thought he should have had that fight? But he got it because of his following. So I sort of feel like that's why he's there. It gives it all a bit of a boost and all of that. But no, I don't see them ending a 2-year title reign just to like give the belts over to him. And certainly when the numbers we're seeing at the moment are not crazy for him. We're not seeing ratings go through the roof on Logan segments. Whatever popularity he's got outside of wrestling, he's seemingly not bringing it with him. The one thing I would say is he's not hurting ratings. So it doesn't look like people are tuning out en masse when Logan's on it. It feels like people are still watching, that would be watching, but it just doesn't feel like anyone extra is watching. It doesn't feel, and if he has brought anyone extra, then we've lost about the same number of people that would have been watching anyway. They've tuned out, right? So if he has brought anyone extra, he's also driven that same number of people away because the show's still doing about 2 million, 2.2 million. His YouTube clips are fairly average on there. They're all right. 1.4, I think it was, million, which if you can get around 1 million, I mean, that's good. He did about 1.4, but I mean, Bloodline do those sort of numbers on a regular basis. So yeah, I don't think he's winning the title. I don't think he's winning the title, but I'm maybe not as down on it as what people would think because, as I said, they've been very honest about why he is there. Brad Wessex 420, shout out to you. Appreciate the support, dudes. Welcome. Moldy Spoon said, Fight Night Wyatt. Yeah, big night tonight. There's a big rumor that someone's going to rip a Fiend mask. Now, I'm only telling you that because I don't think it's the biggest spoiler in the world. We don't know how it fits into any stories. We don't know if that person might be Bray. Bray might be saying, I'm done with this now. This is not my, so it could be Bray that does that and does it as a way of saying this is the past. Or it could be that someone else is going to interfere. Maybe Howdy comes out, right, in the entranceway. Howdy. And, just rips the mask, which would obviously be a very different message to send. Because if Howdy was to do that, it would sort of imply that either that side of Bray is dead now, or he doesn't respect his past. He doesn't respect him. He doesn't respect what he's done. So depending on who's doing it and how it's being presented, it could actually symbolize a few different things. Without that context, it's not a spoiler, really. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. But apparently a Fiend mask is going to be ripped at some point in the show. I did also think, how do you rip a Fiend mask? Because, like, they're not very rippable, are they? Like, they're pretty firm, but I've got one. I couldn't rip it. I mean, granted, I'm not very strong, but I feel like is it going to be a paper cardboard one? I feel like it's probably going to need to be a cardboard one. I appreciate wrestlers are much stronger than me, but even so, to rip one of those plastic masks, that would be one of the most impressive feats of strength I've ever seen. That'd be up there with Von Wagner hurling that NXT guy. I forget who it was, but he picked someone up in the ladder match at Halloween Havoc and just hurled them all the way to the commentary table. Rhea, of course, picking up Gallows, power slam to Gallows. That was pretty cool. But I think if someone could rip a plastic Fiend mask, that would be one of the most impressive feats of strength I've ever seen. Anna, shout out to you, says, I'm back. Do you know what, Anna? I did think about you the other day. I was like, I hope Anna's all right. It's been a hot minute, but hope you are well. Hope to stay awake, and I hope you are well. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thanks, buds. I'm doing all right. I tell you, things have kind of really gone to a whole new level like the past month with Bray coming back. And there's been a lot of excitement. I think there's been so many people that have been in touch saying that they sort of left wrestling, but have now come back because Bray's back. So it feels like there's a vibe and an energy around now that maybe was missing before. I am so excited for Friday nights, by the way. I think Monday and Raw really snapped into focus just how much better SmackDown is now. Like, I've watched 2 Raws in a row now that I thought were lacking. Two Raws in a row where afterwards, like, I think last week the biggest talking point was Baron Corbin was back with JBL. And this week, the biggest talking point was Nikki Cross was back. And she was like in the main event, like, you know, beating up everyone, basically. She unloaded on everyone. And that was it. That was for the past 2 weeks. Those are probably the 2 biggest talking points. So it sort of feels like it's a bit lacking at the moment. I have no idea why, but you compare it to SmackDown with the Roman story and the bloodline and Sammy and Bray and Ronda, who's got a mystery opponent. It just feels like it's a shorter show, but it feels like it's actually got more going on in 2 hours than Raw does in 3. So, really snapped into focus that SmackDown is where it's at the moment. So tonight is a big, big night, a fun night. Should be a great show. Genuinely excited for it. And we'll have to see what's next in the Bray story, because obviously that's where the eyes of the wrestling world are at the moment. Very firmly fixed on the Bray Wyatt story. Hayden said, I am related to Diana, Princess of Wales. Hayden, I think I already knew that, to be honest. As soon as I saw you and I saw your profile picture, I did think to myself, is that Diana, Princess of Wales? And then I had to remind myself, no, she died in a horrific car accident in France in 1997. But I did think that the first time I saw you. And yeah, I can totally believe that, Hayden. Totally believe that. So at some point, you're going to have to come over to meet your family. I don't know if you've heard, but Charles is king now. He used to be married to Princess of Wales, not the current one, the one that died in 1997. But I think they'd love to see you. But knowing that you are related to Diana and that she was part of the royal family, I think we need to get you in The Crown, the TV show, because I think you'd be an excellent character. I think that you should be a talking head in any Diana documentaries going forward. I think that'd be fantastic insight. to hear from like one of her relatives. So yeah, very, very exciting. But to be honest, Hayden, not surprising. Not surprising. Hope you're well, Hayden. Elliot said, Sammy doesn't go to Saudi, so wonder if he's written off for a week. Logan will lose clean. He'll have a great match and save him for the Rumble, says Elliot. Yeah, I mean, good point. Sammy doesn't go. My original comment still stands. I think Logan's not going to have the numbers. He's still going to have to overcome Solo and both the Usos. Will he be written off for a week? Yeah, maybe. We saw him knock out Jay. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe the go home, which is getting recorded tonight, actually. So they are doing a live SmackDown, and then sadly, they're recording next week's episode. I've already had people asking, like, oh, are you going to talk about the Bray stuff for next week? And the answer is, I really don't know, because I don't know what it is. If it's somewhat massive and we can't ignore it, then yes, to be honest. It's going to be a bit frustrating. If I was booking next week's show, I would have Bray, but I would have him backstage, and I would do a backstage thing, and I would not show the audience that tonight. I wouldn't show it. I think that if your Bray segment next week should still be a surprise. Like you're gonna need something to get people to tune in next week, right? So and any segments that get done are going to be recorded on camera phones that are done live in the ring. So the best and the wisest thing to do would be to not have Bray in ring next week, do a backstage segment, but don't show the audience. And then next week we get a Bray segment that's not been spoiled, and then we can all enjoy it together. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, a bit frustrating that next week's a tape show. Jake said, thanks for giving me your thoughts on Bray pre-taped. Jake, shout out to you. You're welcome. Yeah, I think that's the way I would do it, to be honest. It just makes more sense, doesn't it? Because anything else is just going to be really flat and a shame, to be honest, because I think the Bray segment is what massively, massively brings eyeballs to SmackDown. Or at least I feel that way. I think the truth is it might not, because if we're being really honest with ourselves, the ratings have been 2 to 2.2 million for a long time. They are still 2 to 2.2 million. It feels like Bray is playing really well to the fans, the wrestling fans. They're loving it, but at this stage, it's not bringing in anyone extra. But then saying that, neither is Logan. So, you know, you can kind of point the finger at quite a few people that aren't bringing in anyone extra. It's just holding firm at the moment. And who knows, maybe up against some sports stuff, maybe that's a decent result. I don't know. I don't expect tonight to be brilliant, though. As we said, some big sports underway. That's going to be a challenge tonight. Well, obviously, we've moved to FS1 because the Summit Massive. I don't actually know what it is. But for us to be forced over to FS1 means that there is something bigger going on in America. So that's obviously going to be a concern. Jordan said KSI will be in Saudi because of Deji versus Floyd. Deji Floyd, I don't know when that is, though, to be honest. I don't know. That might be a problem. Might be a problem. It's hard to know. I just think that if I'm Logan, I'm not going alone. And I'm trying to think, you know, who can he take? Well, the two obvious names are Jake and KSI. I think the world would explode if you got all three of them in the ring at the same time. I think the world would explode. The only thing is, I don't know that KSI and Jake are like on good terms. They keep talking about fighting each other. There's lots of back and forth. Logan's kind of in the middle between those two. So it's hard to know, really, if you could get all three in the ring and actually how much it would cost to get all three in the ring. Of course, they might do it to help Logan. If Logan was like, listen, do me a favor. And I'm sure, actually, at some point that will happen. I'm sure at some point, maybe WrestleMania, maybe it won't be Saudi, but maybe WrestleMania or something, we could see KSI, Logan, Jake Paul, all in a ring, standing opposite a few guys. I wouldn't get excited for Crown Jewel. There's just too much going on at the moment. As we said, Jake Paul fights tomorrow, and we're doing the watch along on this channel. And then, as you've just rightfully pointed out, Deji is fighting soon. I know that's not KSI, but he's still going to want to be there for his brother in what is a massive fight as he takes on Floyd Mayweather. So, yeah, maybe not this time, but got to think it's got to be workable. It's got to be workable. You know what I mean? I feel like that's got to be something that can be done at some point. I mean, look, you've got to think about what the Logan fans want, and I think that they would all poop themselves if that happens. You know, if you brought down KSI and you brought down Jake Paul and you brought down Logan Paul, and they were stood opposite, say, the Bloodline or Judgment Day or whoever, right? Then that's gonna blow up on the internet. That's gonna be everywhere. That's gonna be a social media sensation. So I've got to think that that's in their minds. But it's just, could you do it? Could you get that? Could you get that done? Could you get all three of them to work together and be on the same page? I mean, and how much would it cost? I feel like it's possible, but yeah, I would not be expecting that for Crown Jewel. But Jordan, shout out to you, dudes. Good point. It's one that I hadn't considered, to be honest, about the Deji fight. But you are right. KSI will be there for that. Right, let's try and get some others. Cal W, shout out to you, dudes. Cal said, with Nakamura being switched, who will be the partner? Yeah, I genuinely don't know. I love the fact it's not been spoiled, though. The fact that it was going to be Nakamura makes me think it's probably just going to be someone that's still on the main roster. Obviously, the name that people keep mentioning is Carmelo Hayes. That's the one that I think people are hoping that it's going to be. But if it is true and Nakamura was the first option, you know, maybe he's got an illness or an injury or who knows. But no, if they wanted Carmelo, I can't see any reason why they couldn't get Carmelo at any point. So why was it Nakamura first? Unless it wasn't, and that's just do you know what I mean, to throw you off the scent. So yeah, for me, I am gonna guess if it is true that Nakamura was the first choice, then I've got to think, well, you could have always got Carmelo, so it can't be Carmelo. So it's going to be someone else that's on the main roster. I don't know if there's an illness or an injury or what's happened, but yeah, interesting. Not the name I was expecting. I thought they would have gone with someone like a Carmelo. John Bay says Phillies are going to win the World Series tonight. Oh, is that what it is? The World Series tonight. World Series. Well, there we go. I mean, I've heard of that, so that's a big deal. If I'm sat here in England and I've heard of the World Series, then that's a big deal. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky maybe for WWE tonight. Certainly on FS1. I can't remember the last time they went on FS1, what the ratings were, but I swear it was around 1 million. I swear it was awful. Like, lost half their viewership, if not more. It just absolutely fell off a cliff. And it's so interesting because if you think that that's, you know, SmackDown that gets, you know, 2 million, 2.2, you move it to somewhere like FS1 and then you see the effect that has. You know, it sort of puts into perspective like why AEW is struggling. I say struggling, but, you know, they can't move from 1 million. It's, you know, if they went to, you know, Fox, what would their ratings be? If AEW went to Fox, what would they do? It would be more than 1 million. They wouldn't even need to change the show. They would get more than 1 million. But I wonder what that, there's no way of knowing. But it's just so interesting how being on different networks so drastically affects things. But then saying that, you know, you have to remember, I'm not in America. I don't know how many homes have got Fox, how many homes have got FS1, how many homes have got TNT and TBS. Like, it's all to do with how many households you can get into. So, but yeah, the ratings tend to fall off a cliff when it comes to going on to FS1. Jordan said, Deji against Floyd is November 12th. Deji Floyd's November 12th. So that's the week after, isn't it? So I don't know if KSI will be there a week early. He could be. He could be. As we said, he's not the one that's fighting. So for him to go over to Saudi and do a little something, I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal that Logan was at WrestleMania, but he was in a tag match and he was being protected by, The Miz, and I forget who they faced, to be honest. But he was like, not he was the star, but it was his first match, and it was more let's see what he can do type thing. Then SummerSlam obviously was a solo match. There was maybe potential there for like a KSI or someone. I can't remember if KSI, because he had a boxing match a few months ago, might have been a bit, he's probably was preparing for that. So, we didn't get anything, right? We just got Logan, and it was a great match. Now, you look at it and go, okay, this is not only a solo match, it's the main event. It's the main event. When Drew was in the main event, we had Tyson Fury sat at ringside. So now Logan's in the main event. Is there potential for something? And I know we keep banging on about this, but I just think there is. I think there is potential for someone like a KSI to potentially come down and try and help Logan even up the numbers. I mean, that would make a bit more sense as to why you've put Logan in that position. Yes, he's got a big following, but you also know that you could bring down KSI and break the internet. So I just wouldn't rule that out. So, Jordan, appreciate the info, dude. As Jordan lets me know that it is November 12th. Tell you what, that means that we're busy, doesn't it? That means we're busy. That means that we've got Jake Paul, Anderson Silva tomorrow, and we are doing Katie Taylor. Just so you know, tomorrow we're doing Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. We're doing the whole build, the undercard, the main card, obviously the fight as well. So we will be live during that. But we're going to be live well before doing Katie Taylor. So I don't think the Jake Paul fight is on till about, 3, 4 in the morning. But our coverage will start at 8 p.m. UK time. So that means that we're potentially looking at like an 8, 9, 10-hour stream tomorrow. So I've got all my notes ready for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Katie Taylor. Her fight is my favorite fight of the year that she had this year against Amanda Serrano. And we watched that. So love Katie Taylor. Didn't want to miss that. And then boom, we go straight into Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. I mean, that's just going to be insane. So, yeah, we've got that tomorrow. Then next Saturday after that, we got Crown Jewel. And then seemingly the Saturday after that, we're looking at Deji and Mayweather. So some big streams coming up. Even so unusual to have big streams like this at the end of the year. Normally tend to happen in the summer and all of for some reason, we're just getting everything happening kind of around this time. And then, of course, we'll have Survivor Series coming up. We'll have UFC 281. We'll have Tyson Fury against Chisora. I'm sure there's some other boxing that's going to be in there as well. It's loads happening. Exciting times. Wrestling with Andy said, what are you going to have for dinner before the 10-hour stream tomorrow? Good question. I don't know. I want something a bit light, obviously, but something that's going to give me a bit of energy. So I feel like, cocaine, something like that. Just really get a bit of a buzz going. I'm joking. I genuinely don't know. I will have something to eat. But to be honest, I would imagine it's going to be the bananas, the Red Bulls. They will help get me through. But I love Katie Taylor. I love watching her fights. I know it's not the most exciting of opponents, but I don't want to miss it. And then, might as well just go straight into it. I think when Katie Taylor's fight ends, the Jake Paul stuff starts. I could have done it as 2 separate streams, but what's the point? Do you know what I mean? What's the point? If one's going to end as the other's going to start, what's the point? So, it's going to be a long day. Make sure to start early. I'm going to see my friend at Wembley. He's 3 fights from the top of the card. He's called Johnny Fisher. I know Johnny. Well, I don't know him, but I know of him. and saw him chatting away at the press conference. So yeah, it's going to be good. He's got a big following, Johnny Fisher. Actually, he's got a big following. There's a lot of eyes on. He sold a fair few tickets, Johnny Fisher, from what I've heard. So yeah, I hope he does well, dude. I hope he does well. Brenton said, shout out to you. Hope you are well. We talked about it a few days ago with Hell in a Cell not being done. I read an article where Money in the Bank might be next, men's and women's matches at WrestleMania. I mean, I don't really mind Money in the Bank being on its own. I feel like Money in the Bank to me isn't a match that you need at a certain time of the year. Like, it's not like someone has a feud and the only way to settle that feud is to do a Money in the Bank. Like, in my mind, Money in the Bank is a bit like the Rumble, right? It's a bit like the Rumble in the sense of it gets done at the same time every year. The prize is a massive prize. It's a title opportunity. It's got nothing to do with grudges or anything like that. It is its own match type. So I personally don't mind Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view. Just like I don't mind the Royal Rumble being its own pay-per-view because I feel like they are designed to be key times of the year just to give things a boost and to, stir the pot a little bit. Because, for example, Liv Morgan was not anywhere near the top of the cards, right? She was just bobbing around in the mid card for a long time. She had one title opportunity day one, and then 6 months later, I mean, she's just not been doing anything since then, just bobbing around middle of the cards. And then boom, she wins Money in the Bank, and then boom, she cashes in same night, and boom, we've got a new women's champion. And that's what Money in the Bank can give you, is it can give you that shock moment of anyone can be champion by the time you get to Raw. So, you do a show on a Saturday, come the Monday, if you've not seen Money in the Bank, you have not got a clue who the champs are, because not only could it be the people that were in the title matches, but it could also be one of the people that won Money in the Bank, who's then gone and cashed in. So I like Money in the Bank. I don't say that I love it being its own pay-per-view. I'm not going to be like, that's not a hill that I'm going to die on. But I do think that if you take it away as its own pay-per-view, what are you going to replace it with that's going to be better than that? What are you going to replace it with that's going to be better than near enough anyone could be champion if you miss the show? It feels like Money in the Bank feels like a show you need to watch, because say you do Roman versus Logan at Money in the Bank, and then you've got 7 other guys competing for the briefcase. That's 9 guys. One of those 9 could be champion by the time we get to Raw. By the time, 9 guys could be champion. That's crazy. That's as I said, something that's quite exciting. I don't want to say more exciting than the Rumble, but obviously if you win the Rumble, the prize is you main event WrestleMania. You're not going to win the championship that night unless the title's on the line in the Rumble. And that's always fun when they do that. But yeah, I like Money in the Bank being its own thing. I feel like it's separate. It's different to Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, that if you need a grudge ender, something to finish a grudge, Hell in a Cell. Yeah. If you've got a title match and you need something to potentially end that, maybe you do a ladder match. Yeah. I sort of feel like TLC, Hell in a Cell, like those kind of shows, those are the ones I'd get rid of, because I just don't think that you need to do those types of matches at those specific times of year. Like, it's December, oh, it's TLC. Like, no, it should be this feud is brutal. Look at Gunther and Sheamus. Gunther and Sheamus have had 2 brutal matches, right? You could argue now Hell in a Cell. You could argue Hell in a Cell now for them. You could put Gunther, Sheamus inside Hell in a Cell. Or you could do a weapons match, a tables, ladders, chairs match. But we wouldn't do that because we would wait normally to get to that pay-per-view. And that for me is wrong. That's the bit I would change. But I feel different about Money in the Bank. As I said, There's no feud that's getting ended by Money in the Bank. So if it goes back to WrestleMania, that's cool for WrestleMania because that's, 2-1. I'm guessing they'll do the guys one day, the girls on the second day or whatever, vice versa, which is cool. But what do you put in Money in the Bank's place? If it's just a generic show, then I don't know that that's as good, to be honest. I don't know that that's as good. Who knows? You might be able to put a generic show there. It's got really good theming. Is like one that really kind of, grabs the imagination, and it might be awesome. But I don't mind. I really don't mind Money in the Bank being its own thing. Right, let's go down. Days, do you think Orton will wrestle again? I think so, yes. I've not heard anything that he won't. Obviously, there's concern for him. But I don't feel like he's done. I don't know that he would want to walk away at this point. I don't know if he wants to end it by getting beaten up whilst he was one half of RK Bro. I feel like wrestling's in his bloods. He never went and stepped away to Hollywood's. I'm sure, I'm not saying that the opportunities were there for him as they were for The Rock, but I mean, look, Randy Orton's very credible. I mean, I could see Randy Orton in Hollywood's. He's a massive name. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could definitely see that. So, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be options for him. Definitely things for him to do. But I think that that's not how he would want it to end. Although he might be a bit like Triple H. Triple H just ran it till the wheels came off, didn't he? And he said that's the perfect way for him to end. He didn't need a big final match. I think he would have liked it. But it was better for him to just go, wrestle until they literally said to him, you cannot wrestle anymore. Like, you've got a pacemaker now. You cannot. I think he's got one of those defibrillators that are built in. And, you cannot wrestle anymore. So, and he was like, got you, thanks, bye. And that was it. And that was perfect for him. And who knows, maybe Orton will be the same. Perhaps if they turn around to him, say, you're done. You've gone until you can't go anymore, and he'll be like, okay, thank you, that's me done, and maybe he'll be fine with it. But I don't know. I feel like he would want, if he could get back, I think he would want to at least have one final run. I'll be there live 8 p.m. my time in the US, says Sam. Sam, shout out to you. What do you think will happen with Bray tonight? Well, apparently he's going to be in the ring, and apparently the Fiend mask is going to be ripped. We're definitely going to get that mask thing that interrupts him, which I wish we had a name for. We were calling it Uncle Howdy, but now obviously we've just had someone else say Howdy. I've got to think that's Uncle Howdy. So now I don't know what to call that thing, but whatever that thing that keeps interrupting the shows and everything. Got to think we're going to be seeing that. I think we'll see another image of the guy in the owl mask. I think we'll see something else to do with Howdy. I don't know who's ripping the mask. I don't know who's ripping the mask. It might be Bray. It might be Bray saying, I'm done with this now. So it could be him. But I feel like, we've taken some big steps forward, actually. We've taken some big steps forward. It's not as if, I know people are saying it's going quite slow. Some people that aren't into this, that just want him to get to a match, think that this is going quite slow. I would disagree and say that it's actually moving at a nice pace. I don't feel like it's not like we just get a Bray promo and then we don't get anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he just talks about being back and that's it. If ever he talks about being back, he then gets interrupted by that person. And then, obviously we get images that we can look at, QR codes. Howdy. Yeah? So it's not that we are only getting Bray. We get Bray and something else. If it was just Bray talking about, I'm going to do horrible things now I'm back, and that was it, then I'd be like, okay. A little bit there for us to talk about. Maybe not as much as I would like. But that's not the case, is it? We're getting that and something else. So I actually quite like this pace. It's not like, here's everyone, I'm going after that person. It's not like, here's everything all at once. And it shouldn't be that. So we're not getting that. It's not too fast. But equally, I would argue it's not too slow. I would say the porridge is just right. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment. And yeah, I mean, look, hard to say what we're going to get, but what I feel comfortable saying is I think we will see the story being pushed along. I don't think this is going to be a week where he's just going to come out and just say a few things and that's it. Equally, I don't think this is going to be a week where he says a few things and all of the Wyatt Six emerge. Like, we don't seem to be going that fast, but we're also not going that slow. So we're somewhere in the middle. So who knows? The person with the owl mask might have a slightly bigger presence. You know, we might see that person with an owl mask say something. Maybe they will actually say a couple of words and that will freak out over that, and we get a bit of something with Howdy where maybe Howdy says a few things more, and that would do, to be honest. I mean, Bray comes out, says a few words, gets interrupted. If we get a little bit more from the person in the owl mask, a little bit more with from Uncle Howdy, that'll do me for this week. Lovely, because then we can talk about what they said. Are they working together? You know, at the moment we don't know any of their relationships. So anything that's going to help us with that, I think would be really, really cool. So it's good. I love this pace. I think it's a great pace. I think the booking of this so far has been really strong, really strong. The only criticisms I'm seeing, to be honest, are people that I genuinely don't think get it. I just genuinely don't think get it. I just don't think this is their thing and they don't get it and they just want to get to the matches. And they don't understand that what we're getting right now is Bray's strength. This is what Bray does better than anyone else. And that is flesh out the characters, slowly introduce them, tell you about all their relationships, how they know each other, how they're going to interact with each other, why they're here, Easter eggs, backstories, things for you to go and research. It's never about quick, let's get to this match. It's not about that. That's not Bray's strength. Bray's strength is, you know, all this creativity. So why would we ever want to rush that? Why would we? If you want matches, you're going to have matches. There will be wrestling matches tonight. If you want wrestling, there's tons of it. You can't avoid it. I saw loads of wrestling on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll see loads more tonight as well. And if you want, you can watch Impact. There's loads more wrestling on there. There's MLW. There's New Japan. There's wrestling matches everywhere all the time. I could find some that are happening right now. So why do we need to race with Bray Wyatt? Why can we not just, you know, take our time like a fine wine? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, loving it. Mitchell said, did you hear the reports of Theory holding off cashing in until Money in the Bank? He only has till the end of the show and it expires or he cashes in and only to have the winner that night cash in on him. I never heard that. I never heard about the winner of that night cashing in on him. I never heard that. I heard that he's got until the end of Money in the Bank and they're floating the idea, because they've never done it before, of waiting until Money, and this is just an idea, yeah? The only thing I've seen on it has said that they're floating the idea of this. Not that this is what's happening, right? But this is one of the options because it's never been done before. And, you know, I would agree that Austin Theory would be one of the best people to do this with, actually, because I think in many people's eyes, Austin Theory is not quite ready, to the point where there's a lot of people that are like panicked, that are like, how are we going to get the briefcase? So I get people asking me, are they going to get the briefcase off him? Like, he shouldn't have the briefcase. And so you could actually wait a bit longer for Austin Theory before he cashed it in. I mean, he's got 12 months. There's no rush. I keep saying this. He's got until the middle of next year. It's October. So he's got loads of time. But yeah, they are looking apparently at doing it. I never heard that about someone cashing in on him, though. They could do that. But apparently he's got till the end of the Money in the Bank show and counting it down, like you've got 9 days left. You've got 2 days left. You've got 40 hours. You've got 2 hours to cash this in. You've got 30 minutes to cash this. You've got 10 minutes to cash this, which is quite a fun thing to do if you think about it. That's really fun. Never thought of doing that. Never thought of that. I mean, to be honest, I've never really sat down and really thought of all the different Money in the Bank options. But I do like it. I do like it. I don't think I would do it now that everyone knows that's what they're thinking of doing. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it now. But I would definitely have it as an option. I still think he cashes in on Cody. I think Cody wins and Theory comes down and cashes in. So I've said that for a long, long time. I've not changed my mind on it. I fully expect to be sat here doing the WrestleMania watch along. I expect Cody to win, and then it'll be like, right, here we go. And I expect him to come down. The only thing I would say is I'm not 100% as to whether he succeeds or not. It really depends on what story WWE want to tell. But I don't know if he's going to succeed. I expect him to come down, and I expect Cody to be celebrating. Theory makes his way down. Does he actually get it cashed in, or is he thwarted? If he does cash it in, does he succeed? If I was booking it, he would cash in and he would succeed. So that's how I would book him. And then Austin Theory leaves WrestleMania as the new WWE champion. And then, of course, Cody gets it back further down the road, maybe SummerSlam, something along those lines. And then Cody can have his proper reign. But I just think, man, that moment would be so epic. You want to talk about iconic cash-ins. Cashing in and taking that moment away from Cody would be iconic. Certainly at WrestleMania as well. There's only been one cash-in at WrestleMania, and it's regarded as one of the best ever cash-ins. So, yeah, that's what I've been looking at for a long, long time. But yeah, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that Money in the Bank. I think it's really interesting. So, Mitchell, shout out to you. Appreciate the support as always, my friends. Hope you've had a good day. Wrestle with Andy said Ric Flair might be the last active wrestler from Evolution. Yeah, wow. Yes. God, that's so fun. Yeah, good point. Who would have said that? Who would have said that back in the day when Evolution formed? Who would have said out of Randy, Triple H, Batista, and Ric Flair that Batista retired at 35, WrestleMania 35 to Triple H. Triple H retired at WrestleMania 37, put his boots in the ring, of course. Was it 37, 38? 38, it was this year, wasn't it? 38. So he put his boots in the ring this year. And at the moment, yeah, you're just left with Ric Flair, who has had his last match, technically, but we have been down this road before. So we can't be 100% about it. But at the moment, it is Randy. Who I'm guessing he did wrestle after that. God, it'd be close though, wouldn't it? When did Randy Orton have his last match? When was Ric Flair's last match? I bet it's quite close. When's Randy's last match? When's Ric Flair's last match? I can easily find that out on that Cage Side database thing, but I bet it's going to be within months, isn't it? At the moment, I think it probably is Randy that's the last one standing. But if he is done, then yeah, Ric Flair could come back, have one more, and steal that, and that'd be amazing. Who do you think Ronda faces tonight? Well, there's a rumor, to be honest, and we're not gonna go there just because some people that feels like it is a bona fide spoiler. So yeah, we won't touch on that. Where does FTR go now that they lost their number one contender status versus Swerve and Lee? I'm happy for Swerve and Lee versus the Acclaimed, but not at FTR's expense. Ring of Honor bound once they get a TV show. No. No, I would have done it the exact same. I would have had Swerve and Lee win because Swerve and Lee have got a very limited shelf life as a team. We keep looking at them going, when are they going to split? 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 Right? Feels like they need to split, or it feels like they're going to split, right? I don't see them being a long-term team. I could be wrong, but I don't see them being a long-term team. I don't think too many others see them being a long-term team. So I would have had them win the other day as well, because I think this is their final shot at the AEW title. They won't win it. They won't win. It's going to be their 2 previous matches have been fantastic against the Acclaimed. The first one in particular, the second one wasn't as good, but the first one was, it's got to be my AEW match of the year. It's hard to say if it's my match of the year. I mean, I love Cody Seth. The Cody Seth matches have been incredible. They're the gold standard to me. But I feel like Acclaimed against Swerve and Lee is really in the conversation. Really in the conversation. So, yeah, absolutely love their previous matches. I think you've got an opportunity, and it might be your last opportunity, to do that match one more time. And because technically it's 1-1 in that. This is sort of the rubber match. So you do that match again, and then Keith Lee and Swerve split. And so they're done. So, to be honest, FTR losing, it's not about FTR. It's about Swerve and Keith Lee and giving them this final opportunity. And then the road is relatively clear for FTR. The only problem is Acclaimed are super over, right? It does not feel like Acclaimed have had much of a title run yet. They need to have a title run, because people love the Scissor Me Daddy. They're super hot. They're super over. The time is just not right for FTR to go and be champions. So if I was Tony Khan, I would keep the belts on the Acclaimed. I would give FTR a fantastic feuds, which they might be going into with the Gun Club now, and might result in some great matches. And then, I'll look and see, is the time right? How hot are the Acclaimed? Once the Acclaimed stuff starts to lose steam a little bit, then I might look to pull the trigger with FTR. But at the moment, I think this is fine, to be honest. FTR are maybe the best tag team in the world, right? But Acclaimed, even though they're not the best tag team, are one of the most over tag teams right now. I would argue Acclaimed are more over than FTR are right now. They're not better, but they're more over, yeah? If you look at the pops FTR get when they come out, compare them to the pops that Acclaim get, look at all the signs in the crowd of scissors and Scissor Me Daddy and all this kind of stuff. It's all like massively Acclaimed at the moment. So I think your priority is to keep riding with the Acclaimed. Make sure you're protecting FTR. They're very important, and they will be champions. But I just don't think the time's quite right yet. Norwich. Wrestler with Andy said Orton's last match was May. Flair's was July. I really would have thought Orton would have had one in July. I really would have thought that Orton... Wow, that's stunning. That is amazing. So if he doesn't come back, then Flair had the last match. Damn, that's so much fun. And also, horrific. Primo said, SmackDown's 2.2 is driven by having over 1.5 over the age of 50. That's nearly Raw's total viewership. Both brands, 1849 is exact same, around 650. Raw only does 1 million with over 50s. What are your thoughts on long title runs? Does it hurt or help? Helps. Massively helps. Helps everyone. It helps the prestige of the title, because it really feels like whoever has it is the champion, right? Because if you can beat the guy that's just had it for 2 years, you're now the guy. Yeah? Because there's been how many people try and fail? And granted, they've tried and failed for various different reasons, not just because Roman's the best, but because the numbers are in his favor. And I understand that frustrates people. But you overcame those odds. Not only did you overcome Roman, you overcame the numbers disadvantage as well. So, yeah, massively helps having long title reigns, because the champion has got credibility by having the belt for that long, right? Even if they're not the most technically great wrestler, they've found ways to keep it that no other wrestler has been able to overcome, right? So it gives credibility to them. It gives credibility to the title. Because if the title's on one person for so long, it feels prestigious. It feels like a big deal. It feels like it is a proper world championship. Because to be honest, look at boxing. Look at how long Tyson Fury, is going to have held the WBC title, or, how long. You do see belts hot potatoing around. But by and large, you tend to get champions that hold them for, a fair decent amount of time. A lot of that is due to the fact that in other sports, they only tend to have a couple of fights a year. So, if you're a champion and you win both your fights in 2022, chances are you're going to be champ by the end of the year as well. You're probably not having 3, 4, 5 fights in a year. Same with UFC as well. They have a couple of fights a year. So we're just used to talking about people like Israel Adesanya, or Volkanovski. We're used to talking about people being champions in divisions for a long time because they, don't defend that often. And when they do, they tend to get the job done and keep the titles. Look at Kamaru Usman, who did lose his title this year, but he held it for, years and years. So I feel like WWE can, because it's so regular, so often, can fall into a bit of a trap of hot potato in the belts around because they've got so many shows. But we're so used with boxing and UFC to just having one champion and that person being champ for a long time. I don't see any difference with pro wrestling. And obviously back in the day, you had long title runs with Bruno Sammartino and Hulk Hogan and Bob Backlund. They would have title runs for years and years. So it massively helps. Look at like Pete Dunne's NXT UK title reign. Historic. Same with Gunther when he was Walter. Historic title reign. Look at what he's doing now with the Intercontinental. I would argue the Intercontinental has not felt this prestigious in, I don't know how long. I mean, Gunther's not even had it all that long, but he's had it for a good few months now. And he's had some banging matches, and he's properly defended it, and he's still got it, and it feels prestigious again. So, yeah, Triple H said, if I want the mid-card belts to be worth something, I've got to treat them like they're worth something. And you're seeing that now, certainly with Gunther. You're seeing, and Seth is the United States champion. That's a great champion. Don't know how long he'll have it for. I think he'll have it a while. I think he'll get past Ali. But very credible champion. And, good stuff. Good stuff. Love long title reigns. Look at the Usos and, the Smackdown titles. Tag titles, they've had them. I don't even know how long now. Got to be, I don't want to say record-breaking territories, but can't be far off. So, yeah, big fan. There's a lot of people that would hot potato them, though. There is a lot of people that do get bored of long title reigns, but I think they're wrong. Did they advertise SmackDown for Fox Sports 1 this week? They did, yes, they did. Right, we're not long to go. We are sneaking our way towards the show. Kids are excited. Who's going to be Hit Row's partner? We don't know. We've touched on that. We don't know. Rumors were it was meant to be Nakamura. And if that rumor is correct, that would make me think it's probably going to be someone on the main roster again. The name that people want is Carmelo Hayes. But we'll have to wait and see. Rampage is a big show. It's live for one last time tonight for this year, says Primo. Dex said, why is SmackDown not televised tonight? It is. It's on FS1. Joseph said, can we get a shout out to Norwich City and the whole squad and Tim Krul? Shout out to Norwich City. Shout out to the Carrow Roads, the Canaries, Delia Smith, Yellow and Green. Shout out to Norwich City. Are you streaming Rampage? No. Will we see Logan tonight after what he's done to Jey Uso? Will we see Logan tonight after what he did to Jey Uso? I don't think he's advertised. Roman's advertised, but I don't think that Jay's advertised. Right. We welcome you. Can I join the Bloodline sign? Sign in the crowd saying, can I join the Bloodline? No. I wonder if that was Vince. Brawling Brutes. Brawling Brutes. Brawling Brutes going to open the show. Okay. So we've got Brawling Brutes against Sammy and Solo. Okay. Do you think Rick Boogs will be mystery partner? No, to be honest. I've not heard that he's ready to return. The reason why I say no is because it was meant to be Nakamura. So if it's not going to be Nakamura, they've replaced him with someone else. And if Boogs was coming back, I'd have to think they knew that he'd be coming back on this show. I don't think he just magically appears and they go, oh, we could have Boogs. I think it's like they work with him and they've got it penciled in as to when he's coming back and they'll know weeks in advance. So if Boogs was going to be the person, surely he would always have been the person. The thing that's throwing me off is the report and rumor that Nakamura was meant to be the person. That might turn out to not be true. But that's what Fightful have reported. So I'm going to say no to Boogs only because, as I said, if it was going to be him, I'd have to think it was always going to be him. Solo and Sami Zayn represent. Jay can have a word. Listen. Big night. Do you understand what I'm saying? Roman's not here when he gets here. First thing he needs to see is all of us. Roman needs to see us victorious. So Sammy talking to Jay, saying, look, when Roman gets here, he needs to see us victorious. Can you bring that energy tonight? So clearly this is going to play into the story. Here's Solo. Sammy jumping around in the background. Solo making his way down. I actually wish that Solo made his entrance solo because his if he was to come down with the towel over his head, make his way down, and then like Sammy maybe to get a separate entrance, because Solo's entrance is pretty fun. It looks pretty cool with the lights and the lasers, but it's a bit distracting when you've got Sammy like dancing around in the background, you know? But yeah. It's a cool entrance. I love the green light. There's a green light that shines behind Solo when he comes down. It looks really good. There's going to be some wrestling moves tonight, says Kyle. I bet we'll see some rope running and rest holds. Big prediction. Big prediction. Solo's name is misleading. Yes. He should be known as Faction Sokoa. Lots of people, Sokoa. Never alone, Sokoa. Never solo, Sokoa. Both teams will want to win this match, says Kyle. Jilly said FS1 in the US. Yes, yes, yes. Do you think Mbappe will go to Real Madrid? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't know when, but he's seemingly, I mean, they gave him the world at Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, and seemingly he's still not a happy boy, is he? I mean, look, if it clicks and things start going really well for them and they start getting some great results in the Champions League, who knows? But if they get dumped out of the Champions League in the next round and there's that infight in, and then, yeah, I could see him going. Days loves a bit of Michael Owen commentary. Ooh, breaking news. Honorary Uskas of baseball. We are underway as Sammy goes against the ropes. Pete Dunne went to hit Sammy. Sammy jumped out the ring. Pete Dunne. Butch. Solo collides into Butch. Spins him upside down. Turns him inside out. Leg drop. Days, will you be live for Crown Jewel? Yes. Joseph said he's going to do Crown Jewel when it's on. I don't have FS1, said Shaq. Yeah, you're not alone, dude, to be honest. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that really struggle when it comes to FS1. The ratings absolutely die a death. They absolutely die a death. Should be a really good show, though. Not to rub it in, but I am hoping for a tasty evening with plenty of rumors out there for some of these mystery people. I want smiley faces, says Miss Clown. Miss Clown, shout out to you. Are you watching on BT? I am, yes. BT Sports 2 tonight, even we've moved. I think the World Series has took priority even here in the UK, where baseball registers like one level above, I don't know, tiddlywinks. But yeah, our BT Sport 1 is World Series. Knee to the outside by Butch and Uso, showing a bit of concern. Solo from behind. Butch goes down. Butch was fired up then. Bad News Barrett has still got a match left in him, said Hawkins. Why does no one ever question when WWE has heel versus heel matches? I think they do get questioned. This one isn't one, though. Apparently, Brawling Brutes are listed as faces now. Apparently regarded as faces. Are they recording next week's SmackDown after this SmackDown? Yes. Maritza said, I can't find it. It's FS1, dudes. If you find FS1, you will find that. Maybe not right now because we're at commercial break, but it is FS1. What channel is FS1? Fox Sports 1. I think you've got Fox, and then you've got Fox Sports 1. There could be a Fox 2. I have no idea, but I know there's Fox, and then there's Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2. They are known as FS1 and FS2. I actually don't even know if there is a Fox Sports 2. I'm presuming there is, because why would you have Fox Sports 1 if you didn't have a Fox Sports 2? You would just have Fox Sports, wouldn't you? Again, I'm sat here in the UK. It's nowhere near as complicated here. We've literally moved from BT Sport 1 to BT Sport 2. That is as adventurous as we get. Stone9540 said FS1 is on basic cable. Mitchell said there is an FS2. Come on. What the hell? What the God? If going to FS1 is a disaster for WWE, right? What the flip is on FS2? Knitting. What do they do on that channel? Raw will be 1 hour earlier next week in the UK, said Jordan. Well, I don't think that's true. Is it? Is it? Maybe it is true. Because our clocks do change. So does that mean that it's on at the same time? What does that mean? Yeah, that might mean that it is moving. Clock's changing always blows my mind. British Soundboard Prank said, I'm watching on FS7. Pretty sure it's a lot of college stuff, says Ryan. What, like lectures? Just hanging out in the dorm. Their shows are on at 12 next week, said James. Yeah, the clocks change tomorrow, don't they? But to be honest, I thought that it still wouldn't affect things, but oh god. Hate it when this happens. Because then like we have to start even earlier. It is kind of nice because we end earlier. But we have to start earlier. That means that we'll be starting at 11 UK time. Yeah. The clock's changed tomorrow. Well, UK tomorrow. Why is baseball on when it's Friday? You'll have to ask the baseball people. Mitchell said FS2 is women's soccer, Germany versus Spain. If there is a Bray QR code, can you put it on screen? I always try to. Yes, I always try to. Normally, the QR codes are just an image. Now, at the moment, last one was just his psychological evaluation. So if there is a QR code, then yeah, we always try to put it on screen. Another week left until US time change. You see, then that knocks everything out again. That's interesting. Can't cope with these time changes. It's only 1 week because US clocks change next weekend. Where can I watch SmackDown if I don't have cable? Sometimes it's on Watch Wrestling, which is not really the right side of legal. But to be honest, that does also keep getting pulled down and moved around. And so I have no idea as to whether it, how easy it is to find these days. I would imagine it is. To be honest, I was going to watch it myself. Watch Wrestling because I really want to watch those Tales of the Territories that are being shown on Vice. But I don't think they're shown over here. We don't seem to be able to have them or get access to them. Or at least I don't know where they are. Ridge catching Sammy. Spinning him round. Planting Sammy down. 1, 2. Shoulder up, shoulder up. We've got college football on BT Sports 3 and Lens versus Toulouse on 4. It's a big night. Big night. They're the official Vice channel on YouTube. Okay. Sometimes they are location locked, but hopefully not. If they're on there, then I appreciate it. I'll want to check them out. Solo, kick him, Ridge. Ridge on the shoulders. Samoan drop. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Dean, shout out to you. Said, my son loves WWE. His favorite is Brock Lesnar. He's only 3. Massive respect for the stuff you do. Rock versus Roman for Mania. Yeah, well, first of all, shout out to your son, Dean. Brock Lesnar, awesome competitor. Very credible superstar who I think a lot of people probably doesn't get the respect he deserves, I think you've honestly got to put him down as one of the biggest, most impressive, dominant superstars in the history of WWE. I don't think he gets that. I think when we look back at this era, Brock and Roman, Seth to a degree, they will be seen as the biggest stars of this era. But yeah, probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. But Roman at Mania, I think so. I haven't heard anything to say no. And I think they know it's the match that everyone wants, and it's in Hollywood. I think the fact we're in Hollywood is a big deal. I also think the fact that this is Roman's time. I mean, this is his time. I don't know that he'll ever get a time quite like this. It's hard to see him ever get anything on this level because the whole bloodline thing has just been built around him. Over 2 year title reign. Everything feels like it's building up to a big crescendo. And I think that crescendo comes next year. I don't think anyone's expecting Sammy with the pin, but only gets a 2. I don't think anyone is expecting Roman to be champion, have both belts by the end of 2023. I don't even know if anyone's expecting the Bloodline to be together by the end of 2023. So it feels like next year is the year things are going to explode and it's going to reach its pinnacle. And I've got to think Rock Roman is a no-brainer as long as they've booked it. Because obviously if you go and speak to The Rock now and say, look, are you free? Chances are no. So as long as it's in the books already and they've already had that conversation, I've got to think, listen, if you book Hollywoods, right? So you get the Hollywood venue, right? You're going to be in Hollywoods. The very next phone call you make is, hello, is that The Rock? Yeah, we've just booked a WrestleMania in Hollywoods. Are you free at all? Or I'm protecting you. There's a bit of arguing here. I would have had him. Sammy and Jay are arguing. This is not going the way that they wanted it to go. Solo coming over. I'm trying to help you. Five. We're up to 5. I don't quite know what Sammy was. I don't quite know what Sammy was upset about, to be honest. I know that 1, 2, 3, they lose. Brutes beat them. There's miscommunication. Jay pulled Sammy out of the ring. Yeah, I don't. Oh, look, they're arguing. I really don't know what he wanted him to do. Sammy and Jay arguing in the ring. Solo's coming in. So he was playing possum. Jay pulled him out of the ring. Jay thought that he was saving him. He wasn't saving him. But Sammy was also gesturing. Oh, Usos are getting in each other's faces now. Damn. Oh, and Roman's making his way down. There is going to be hell to pay. Sammy wanted to end this with all of their hands in the air. That's not what's happening. Roman is not going to be happy, man. He is not going to be happy. He is watching his bloodline implode. Roman Reigns, Jay's in trouble. Here's Heyman and Roman. FS1, FS2 are used for local and regional sports. This is going to be uncomfortable. This is a real fun way of doing it, actually. We've flipped things around. Normally, we start the show with a Roman promo and then go into the first match. What we're actually doing this time is we're doing the first match going into a Roman promo. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. I don't know if I've ever seen them do this and actually start with the match and go into the promo. It's a real interesting way of doing it, certainly when they've just lost because of miscommunication. Some months till World Cup, English will do well. Could do a live stream for the World Cup this year. Yes, there are plans to do that, yes. The longest reigning Universal Champion in history, says AJP5. Usos will be called to the principal's office, said Smurfy Tunes. Roman looks... He's making the bloodline wait. Look, he's standing in the entranceway. Problem. This is a problem. I love that they all look dejected, said Mitchell. FCS said, where are you watching this? I am watching this on BT Sport 2, but in America, it's on FS1. When you watch SmackDown, is it on BT Sport 1 or 2? Normally on 1, but this week it's on 2. Kyle said Paul Heyman isn't actually saying hello casually. That is just his name. Jacob said, to be honest, if Roman was around more, the bloodline would probably have better chemistry. So some of the blame should be on Roman. Yes, but I'm sure Roman doesn't see it that way. It's about to go down. The breakup with Jimmy and Jay. How they're going to go to a commercial break. That's exactly what we've done. Yes, that's exactly what we've done. Jay needs some time off. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know where we're going, actually, with this. I don't know where we're going. It's very interesting because we are really exploring this relationship between Roman, Jay, and Sammy. I mean, right now, Roman has got Sammy's back, but at some point, it's going to become obvious that Sammy is the problem, really. Not that it's his fault. He's trying his best, but it's not working, is it? At some point, I'm sure Roman will decide, I've tried to make it work with this guy, but this guy just doesn't fit in, just doesn't work. We're just not, we're blood, we're family, we're on the same page. Clearly, they're not on the same page with Sammy. And clearly there's a communication issue. And I wonder if this will be what will end up with Sammy getting kicked out the bloodline. It feels too early to be doing that, though. I wouldn't be doing it now. I feel like you need to be doing it more around WrestleMania time. Because I feel like when it's Roman against Rock, I feel like you're going to need all the bloodline behind Roman. That whole storyline surely is going to be about family and built on family. Unless we're getting Sammy out of there before that point. Maybe we're going to get Sammy out before we start the Rock storyline, if we're going that way. Which I hope we are. Do you think Jey Uso will smack the out of Sammy? I think he would love to. But at the moment, Sammy's protected by Roman. So once Roman kind of gives up on Sammy, then yeah. Jey is desperate to get his hands on Sammy. I mean, don't forget, it was only the other week where Roman was like, take that bloodline shirt off. Jey couldn't wait to rip it off of Sammy. So he didn't need much. He didn't get asked to rip it off. He just got told to take the shirt off, and that was enough for Jey to help him. So I've got to think that Jey would love to get his hands on Sammy. So Sammy was playing possum. That threw off Jey. He pulled Sammy out of the ring. Sammy was arguing with Jey, kind of saying, that's not what I wanted you to do. I actually don't know what he was trying to do, though. He was sort of lying there, and he was doing these sort of gestures. I didn't see if the ref was distracted at that time. But either way, it didn't go the way they wanted, and we are back from commercial break. If you are just joining us, 24 minutes in. So far, we've only had one match. In all fairness, they do tend to do this, though. The first match tends to get a chunk of time. But right now, we've got Roman in the ring. Let's see what Roman has got to say. Wouldn't want to be them. All the bloodline are in the ring. Roman. Smile on his face, though. Smile on his face. Acknowledge me. St. Louis. Acknowledge me. Yes. Yes. St. Louis. Acknowledge me. They put up their... We're going to switch it up tonight. It's time for me to acknowledge this elephant in the room. That is no way to talk about Paul Heyman. You want to act like kids? Then we'll treat you like kids. Wow. That means... This is what I want you to do. Put it all on the table. Let it all out. I want this problem fixed right now. Oh, God, this is good. This is good. Well, okay. Sammy. Well, okay, here we go then. Sammy, quite happy to do that by the looks of it. I'll be the first. I feel like it's specifically with Jay. He says, I don't understand what's going on. I like you. I like you. Oh, this is nice from Sammy. You don't seem to be able to stand me. Jimmy seems all right. Solo seems all right. I don't know what I've done to offend you. I'm sorry. Crowd like it. Thank you. Thank you. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Can we bury the hatchet once and for all? Sammy puts his hand out. Anywhere in the world right now. Where would you go, said William. I'd stay right here watching this. This is awesome. Sammy's awesome. I suppose I could go somewhere in the world and still watch this. Is he going to say it? Oh, he's got a microphone in his pocket. Sammy, you've got 2 seconds to get that out of my face. I mean, technically, it wasn't in his face. It's down here, actually. I don't like you. I don't like your hair. I don't like your face. I don't like that shirt. How are you part of the bloodline when you're not Bloods? And you never will be. Don't belong. Oh, you're a fake-ass oos. Fake-ass oos. Oh, fake-ass oos. Fake-ass oos. Why are you yelling at me? Whoa! Jey Uso said, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say, and that got Roman's attention. Roman's head just went up. Ah, it's done. It's done. Thanks a lot for playing. Thanks a lot for playing. Thanks a lot for great career. Great career that Jey Uso had. It was a hell of a run. It was a hell of a run. I think what we do now is we put him in the Hall of Fame because he's clearly not wrestling after this again. Oh, man. When Roman's head just snapped up then. I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says. Wow. Yeah, what Jay just said was super messed up. Sammy trying to make peace. Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P. Jey Uso. It's normally R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Now it's R.I.P. Jey Uso. Great segment. Great segment, though. Usi. Roman's laughing. I think Sammy's got to Roman a little bit. Roman's still laughing. Oh, man. Crowd are cheering. Roman looks at Sammy. Lately, he's not been very Usi. I think there's Usi chance. Is it? They're all gonna crack, man. They're all gonna crack. They have got to. They are struggling so hard to not all burst out laughing. Jay's laughing, man. They're cracking each other up. This segment's falling apart, man. They're corpsing. Jay's had to turn away to... I'm going to take that honorary away. I'm going to make him a full-blown oos. Look at Sammy's face. Man, they proper corpse. Do you know what that... He's cracking up, man. We're going to call him Sammy Uso. We're going to call him Sammy Uso. Jay can't keep a straight face. Sammy is so happy right now. Look at Sammy's face. Sammy Uso. Yeah, big Sammy Uso chant. Hell of a segment. So good. So good. So good. This is amazing. Amazing segment. Amazing. Hilarious of breaking the characters. 10 out of 10. I think corpsing is my favorite in any form of comedy. Just couldn't hold it together, could he? There we go. Roman heads towards Bray, addresses his demons tonight. Bray addresses his demons. That's interesting. That's interesting. This stuff is gold. Score that segment out of 10. Score that segment out of 10. Amazing. Segment is Usi. WTF was that? Bray addresses his demons. Heel Santa said 9. Lone Star Friend said 10. Toxic says 10. Regan says 11. 10, 11, 8, 10, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10. It was great. Amazing segment. 12 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 9.9, 10, 8, 7. 7's the lowest I've seen. 9.9, 10, 10, 9, 10, 11, 20. 10 to, look at it. People just loving it. Loving it. Sammy's saying he's not been feeling oozy. And then they all corpse. They all just start cracking up. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, having to see Jay constantly like where he's laughing and turning his head because he's laughing. And then he comes back and then they'll say something else. Like Roman was making it worse as well. Because Roman was laughing and he was like, are you not very oozy like this? And the thing is, when you're in that moment and you're just thinking to yourself, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. That's the one thing in the world I just do not need you to say right now. Don't say oozy. I was thinking that when like it was going to, do you know what we're going to call him? And he was building it up. Do you know what his name will be? And I was like, man, if he says Sammy Uso, he's going to go again. Because he's got to be standing there thinking, don't say Sammy Uso, don't say Sammy Uso, don't say Sammy Uso. And then he went Sammy Uso. He didn't crack, actually, though. When he said Sammy Uso, I was looking at him to see if he was going to crack. And he held it. I don't think it was long after that. He was laughing again, though. But weird, actually, because it didn't make me, like, it didn't ruin the segment. Because it was a super serious segment. Do you know what I mean? It was really serious. You got Roman threatening Jay, and Jay's laughing. And Roman's laughing, and do you know what I mean? Like, it should take away from the segment, technically. But I feel like we're all in on the joke. Like, we all know the situation. We all know what's going on. We all know that this is scripted. And, you know, there's some funny stuff in there, and watching them having to battle that just made me love the segment more. From a kayfabe point of view, it's probably a bit flawed, but it was so much fun, man. So much fun. Sometimes you just got to live a little, guys. Sometimes you just got to live a little. Richard said, my friend thinks Logan will win at Crown Jewel. I nearly blew snot. And my friend said that's the sort of thing that WWE would do. I disagree. I don't think it's the thing WWE would do, because what we're talking about is putting their championship onto a celebrity, onto a star, a social media star. And that is not the kind of thing WWE do. There is no history of that. There is no champion in the past that has just been like a celebrity like that. We didn't see Bad Bunny winning the title. We didn't see Tyson Fury or Mike Tyson or even boxers or whatever. We haven't seen that happen before. I actually think there's been a bit of not backlash, but I think there's, I mean, like, I've seen plenty of comments. There's Sarah Logan. I can tell that from the boobs. So, yeah, it's not the kind of thing they do, to be honest. The gods have opened our eyes. Valhalla awaits. Valhalla awaits. Now we've got maximum male models. An Usi theme tonight. Once he gets his act together, he's going to be crying, says Michael Cole. New Day making their way down. Brilliant. 40 minutes in. Brilliant. This is so much further ahead of Raw. It's just not, it's just, I couldn't even say it's the same company, to be honest. Valhalla awaits. Brilliant. New Day. New Day rocks. New Day versus Maximum Male Models. So Richard, shout out to you, dude. Moldy said, I tweeted you a great picture. Let's have a look. Oh, oh, oh. How do they make one good show and another one horrible? Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing that this is so far ahead of where Raw is right now. I was being asked not that long ago, what show do you prefer? I was like, oh, I like them both the same, to be honest. Oh, that's a great picture. I'll retweet that. Look at that. Yes. Now that is Usi. That is Usi. That is Usi. Brilliant. Brilliant segment. How long until they dump water on Sammy for a wet Usi, said Blazed. I've watched almost every episode of SmackDown since 2002. It's always better than Raw, said DBZ Fanatic. Days, would you like to see Bobby Roode get his old character back? Not really. I was never a big fan of Bobby Roode. When he was in NXT doing the Glorious stuff, like it always felt a bit shallow. It's not like we got many vignettes or like it was just him in a robe. The robe wasn't even that special compared to like some of the Charlotte Flair robes and, you know, some of the amazing robes we've had in the past. I don't know, man. He just didn't do it for me. He was NXT champ, but I'd have to say I found him to be a weak champion. And then he came up and obviously, man, we just didn't do anything with him, did we? I feel like we definitely need to do something with him, but a lot of people want him to go into, is it Beer Money or something? That tag team that he had in TNA with James Storm. A lot of people would like to see him go into that. But yeah, what we do with Bobby Roode is a bit tricky, to be honest. Kicks coming in by Marseille on Xavier. Kick out by Xavier. Do you think Bloodline will break up now? No. No, I think what we just got from the Bloodline is, if anything, Roman actually confirming that he is on Sammy's side and actually saying, I'll take that honorary away and he'll just be an Uso and we'll make him Sammy Uso. And then we'll make him Blood. So if anything, Roman doubled down. It's a fantastic segment. You know, all these little teases, little looks and everything, they're all fun. But there is something for it just getting it out in the open and hearing Jay say what he had to say. I mean, it was fantastic. Boom drop by Kofi. Marseille with a moustache is definitely a look, said Paulie. Now you're talking, whoever just said about Beer Money. I love them, said Officer Cluster. Yeah. Yeah, they're not a team I know because I never watched TNA, but I've seen a lot of kind of comments about that's how people would use him going forward. And actually, in a tag division that's getting revitalized, they could add some real value. Here's Xavier. Double stomp. 1, 2, 3. And it's a win for Xavier. So the losses continue to pile up for Maximum Male Models. So Maxine Dupree on the outside. Backstage with Kayla. Sonya Deville backstage. She's been having issues with Liv. New Day beat Maximum Male Models. Now we've got Sonya being asked about. Liv is broken, says Sonya. Liv Morgan attacks. Goes into, again, we get a Bray Wyatt sticker on the side of that box. Liv trying to get at Sonya. It is interesting that Bray logo is there again, you know? Charges over, again trying to get... I mean, they couldn't make it any more obvious, could they? We've seen it about 4 or 5 times. So she drove her. Richard K, shout out to you, dude. Appreciate the support. So Sonya said Liv is broken. We saw the Wyatt logo as Liv and Sonya brawl. It was very quick. There was someone in the background that ran away. To be honest, I don't know that was anyone in particular. I don't know. We'd need to have a look at a freezed shot of that. It was very quick. But Liv attacks Sonya. Right. What are the chances of Punk returning to WWE? I think very low. AEW trying to buy him out of his contract. I read somewhere Triple H was adamant he would never work with him again, but his stance has weakened, so could it happen? Well, look, you can never say definitely no, but to be honest, I think the Triple H side of things is the least of the problem. I think the bigger problem is the CM Punk side of things. CM Punk left in 2014 and never came back, and only came back to wrestling when AEW offered him a way back. His relationship with Triple H is bad. Let's put it that way. Triple H did say, apparently according to WrestleVotes, back in July, that he was not interested at all. Like, their relationship is not a good relationship. And so in July, it was not happening. WrestleVotes has said that stance may have softened. Obviously, I'd imagine Triple H has enjoyed watching all the drama from afar that CM Punk's caused in AEW. So that position may have softened, but I don't know that it's softened to the point where he would bring him in. And also, I don't think that's the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem is CM Punk, who sued the WWE doctor, never felt like he was the top guy whilst he was there, and was resentful of that. Had an issue with Triple H, called him Vince's doofus son-in-law. I just feel like getting CM Punk to go to WWE is going to be a nightmare. So I'm leaning towards, I'm not impossible, because he's a person. He's alive. He's not dead. He could absolutely go back, but I'd give it, 10%, if that. Right. We're just seeing a Braun segment now. Him tipping stuff over. I picked up a tractor trailer because it was a challenge. It is true. Watching him tip over a flipping production truck and now seeing him stare at a moss, it doesn't seem like a problem, does it really? The bigger the better, said Braun. Elliot said, is Sammy so over he could beat Roman next year? It's what I would do. I would have Sammy be the one, yes. And I think we can still keep building. It's not going away. He is as popular as he's ever been. And he's just continuing to get more popular. They chant his name. They were chanting Sammy Uso. Just keep telling this story. See where we get with it. Just keep building it. Let it be organic. I've said before, this feels like when Daniel Bryan went to WrestleMania 30. It just feels organic. Here's Ronda then. We think we know who this is going to be, but it's still going to be a moment, potentially. She's coming down with a sporran. She's got a sporran. She's got the Scottish flag on. Is that a bit of, is that in homage to Roddy Piper? Who actually wasn't Scottish. Ronda in the ring. Okay, so the Ronda segment. Open challenge. Don't about bad reputation. Oh, no, 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 no. Not me. Okay, Ronda in the ring. Looks like the belt is back where it belongs. Woo! Looks. I'm in the mood to prove it, said Ronda. I don't expect you to be grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you, Ronda. I don't Why? I feel... Only the great can recognize greatness. This is true. I think she's talking about you guys, to be honest. Not me. I'm a big fan. Keep it up, Ronda. You're the best. Who's feeling lucky tonight? Woo! Who's feeling lucky? Okay. The worst kept secret. Danny said, any Bray stuff yet? No, nothing. Just one segment. Here is Emma. Emma making her way out. Looking the same as she did, actually, before. I did wonder. And her opponent from Melbourne, Australia, Emma. So, Emma coming down with the shades and the glass. Ronda's like, what? This woman? This woman's here. Do you remember when she used to do that? She's not a flipping crab. Emma is here. Emma making her way out in the shades. Tennille Dashwood, I think is her real name. But I really like Emma. I'm so pleased she's back. So pleased she's back. People might remember her as being obviously in the first NXT Women's Championship match. But yeah, brilliant. Dr. Britt Baker. Okay. Tune in to a special Halloween edition of Raw. Tune in to the special Halloween edition of Raw. Right, let's get the images up. I'll put this up as a separate video. You should have some images of Emma. I like Emma. Imagine if she wins, man. I don't think she will, but it'd be really cool if someone came down and cost Ronda the title and then Emma's the champ, and like, you know, all of a sudden she's not back bobbing around the mid card. Like she's actually got something to get her teeth into. That'd be great. That would be great. So Emma making her way down, and I did love that from Ronda. Kind of taking the mick out of how she used to dance. Right, we have got... Bang. So there's right. It's a good image, actually. Nice image. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I found an image of her in NXT. I've even got the image of Ronda making fun of her. Big breaking news then coming out of SmackDown. It's probably the worst kept secret of the year. This was doing the rounds earlier today, but it has been confirmed. Ronda Rousey issuing an open challenge for the Women's SmackDown Championship. And that open challenge was answered by Emma. Emma returning to WWE. This is so exciting. I love Emma. You might remember that Emma was actually in one of the first ever NXT Women's Championship matches. In fact, I believe it was the first. It was her against Paige, and the winner became the NXT Women's Champion. She's spoken a lot about starting the women's revolution along with Paige. This match so important in the history of women's wrestling in WWE. As we said, this kind of set the stage for women in NXT. And she is back, man. She is back. There she is, as she stepped out to challenge Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's got the short gloves on as well, the gloves that don't quite go over her hand. She had the shades and everything. Everything kind of feels like as it was. She's not Emelina, if you remember that gimmick at all. And you might remember back in the day, she used to do like some dancing as well. And what was really funny is we just got a brief moment where Ronda was like, "What, the dancing girl?" So Ronda was doing the little dance in the ring, as well as Emma made her way down to the ring, which I thought was really fun. But yeah, big breaking news. Emma is back in WWE. At this stage, we don't know for how long. We don't know if this is just a one-off or if it's a permanent return. I would guess it's a permanent return, but love it. Big fan of Emma. It's going to be very interesting to see what she does going forwards. So Emma against Ronda then. We are underway. Wade Barrett says Emma has been competing around the world for the past few years. But trying to stay sharp enough for someone like Ronda Rousey is something completely different. Yeah, they're talking about that match. It was so important, in all fairness. Tennille Dashwoods. Okay, so she goes over to the corner. She is hooking Ronda on the ropes. That's nice. That's nice. Emma goes up top. Crossbody there by Emma. Comes crashing down on Ronda. The pin is made. Ronda going over to the corner. Emma charging over. We're an hour into the show. Yeah, that's Michael Cole said, look, if you're going to come back, why not come back and try and win a championship? As Wade Barrett was like, you know, is this wise for Emma to come back here and go up against someone like Ronda? Ronda on the outside then. Jump in the ring, talking some trash to Emma. It'd be the biggest headline on planet Earth if Emma could pull this off, says Wade. Ronda said she doesn't give a damn about the WWE fans. It's not very nice, is it? I don't think it was the biggest reaction for Emma, to be honest, but I think there's respect for her. I really like her. Emma is being stretched at the moment. Kicks coming in by Ronda. Right, read that from Elliot. We all up to date. Let's have a look. Danny Barnhouse, shout out to you, dudes. Yeah, nothing really Bray related so far. We did just get a little thing saying that he'll be on later and he's going to confront his demons. So we've got that coming up. Emma down on her hands and knees. It is very physical at the moment. It's not a squash match, is it? This match is still going on. Emma goes against the ropes. Gets up round the houses. Side Russian leg sweep. That was nice. Going for the cover. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. Emma going over to the corner. Charging over. She's a little bit tentative in her movement, isn't it? Like she doesn't fully commit to the run. Ankle lock applied here by Ronda. Emma screaming in pain right now. Middle of the ring. Looks like it's going to be probably the beginning of the end. It's going to be hard to see her get out of this. She's squeezing and squeezing. Emma gripping her teeth, trying to get over to the ropes. She rolls through. Ronda goes over to the corner. I really don't think Emma should have been getting out of that, to be honest. I think if Ronda Rousey has got you in an ankle lock, that should be the end of the road for you, really. Suplex there by Emma. Emma screams out. Charges over. Crossbody by Emma. Shoulder up by Ronda. Rousey. Double underhooks by Emma. Middle of the ring at the moment. She's got Emma up on her shoulders. Emma struggling. Into the corner. She did get her in the eyes. It's going to be Piper's Pit, and this should be it now. She had a little struggle there, though, didn't she? That wasn't as straightforward as I think she was expecting it to be. Armbar replied. Ronda Rousey retains. That won't be the biggest shock in the world. Champions. WWE doesn't know how to use Ronda, said Junior. I've managed to time my TV, so you are now perfectly in time, said Darker Voids. Darker Void, shout out to you, dude. So Ronda picking up the victory. Okay, where are we? We're 5 minutes past 2 o'clock. Got 55 minutes to go. So Ronda wins by raking the eyes. So last woman standing match between Bianca and Bayley. I didn't know this. Bianca versus Bayley. Usos versus Butch and Ridge. Wow. Couple of matches that have been announced for Crown Jewel there. Jay wants to talk to Roman. Sometimes it's better if he hears things from his wise man. I got you on this, said Paul Heyman. Always and always. Okay, so Paul Heyman said that he's got Jey Uso. Tells Jay to not trouble Roman at this stage. Here's Legado del Fantasma making their way out with, of course, Zelina Vega. It used to be Elektra Lopez, but she's obviously back in NXT now. So Hit Row with a mystery partner, and we don't know who the mystery partner is. Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. Do you think Hit Row is missing Swerve? They seem to be floundering. Not really. I wasn't a fan of them before. I mean, I think if you're going to be based on a hip-hop group and you want to be cool and being... Ray addresses his demons. Okay. The images there didn't seem to be anything we haven't seen before, to be honest. I think they've struggled with being cool since they were in NXT. In my eyes. I mean, maybe other people think they're amazingly cool. Perhaps people think they're just the bee's knees. Who knows? But to me, I've just found them cringe from day one. And that was when they had Swerve. So that's my problem. I mean, I think the concert they did, do you remember when they did that SmackDown? They came out and they did a whole rap song. And the people live in our comments were a bit like, awkward. And certainly the stuff I was seeing, the reaction on social media, didn't seem like social media was loving it either. I just think they really struggle to present them because I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I think they genuinely love hip hop, and I think that they do write their own stuff. And I think that there is some degree of credibility about them, but it just doesn't hit, man. It just doesn't hit. It just doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for like kids. Maybe if you're like young and I don't know, you just watch and you just think they're a hip hop group and you think they're cool, mate. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I used to watch and think Big Boss Man was cool. I would imagine a lot of people used to watch him and think he was a bit cringe and wasn't really a police officer. But I used to watch as a kid thinking he was the bee's knees, man. I love the Boss Man. Boss Man back in the early 90s was one of my favourite. Did the spinning of the nightstick and everything, you know? So, I don't know. Perhaps I'm just not their demographic. But I honestly can't say putting Swerve with them would make things any better. I just think that it's their presentation for me. Dylan said, do you think Bray is going to come out in person or do another backstage promo? Apparently it's in person. So apparently it is in person tonight. But it is also the main event. So it's not something we're going to be getting anytime, well, not in the next 10 minutes. You're going to have to wait at least another half an hour till we get to the Bray segment. It's our Jim Duggan and Bossman together, said Jack. Still can't watch it, said Mauricio. Will we see who Uncle Howdy is or the first member of Wyatt's faction tonight, said I honestly don't know. I mean, there's no reports as to what we're getting. The only thing that's been reported is that a Fiend mask is being ripped by someone. That's the only thing I've seen. We know that Bray is doing a promo. It's meant to be in the ring, from what I understand, and it's the main event, and at some point, a Fiend mask is going to be ripped. That is it. So, what we actually get, don't know. But I love the fact we don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to. I mean, like, the Emma stuff was really disappointing that we knew. I don't know if you're the baddest or the luckiest, said Natalia. Ooh. Ooh, Shayna attacking Natalia from behind. Shayna squeezing the life out of Natalia whilst Ronda just watches. Oh, I'm loving this. Yes. I'm loving this. Oh my God. Shayna Baszler and Ronda working together. Love it. Love it. Love it. Sign me up. Sign me up. Put me down for 2 of them. Shayna attacking Natalia whilst Ronda just stands and what? Don't forget, they're great. They were great friends. They were great friends. Ronda and Shayna tag team. Ronda and Shayna. Shayna attacks Natalia. God, so much. So many talking points. This has been such an amazing show. I actually thought NXT would probably be the best show this week. SmackDown's giving it one hell of a run. It might even... I don't know. I was going to say, it might even be better. It might be better by the time we get to the Bray main event. Big Boss Man was Jim Cornette's bodyguard, said Lee. Who is the third person with Hit Row? Don't know. Don't know. Money, 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 money. Hit Row. Oh. If it's going to be Carmelo, that will be cool. I like Top Dollar in that, like, balaclava. Top Dollar in the balaclava is a good move. He does look a little bit like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, though. That's the only problem. We've got friends in high places. It is Nakamura. It is Nakamura. Shinsuke. Nakamura. Nakamura. Beat Fab, not wearing heels. She is all business tonight. It's got Jordans on. Right, we are. It's a bit weird. Anyone else think Nakamura doesn't really fit with this group? I mean, I'm sure he likes hip-hop music, but I have no idea if he can understand what the flip they're singing. But then saying that, I can't understand what the flip they're singing, so I suppose in a way I've got that in common with Nakamura. Nakamura did the money thing as well. Money. Big Boss Man was a correctional officer, worked in Cobb County Jail before he wrestled. I loved him, man. He was one of my favorites. He was, I think the first match I ever remember, if I really was going to go back and say that's the first match I think I ever saw, was Survivor Series 92, Head Shrinkers against High Energy. And I can't remember at what point in that same show it happens, but we do get Boss Man versus Nails. I don't know what's happening here. B-Fab kicks Zelina. Zelina flops to the outside. Santos Escobar in the corner, looking up. Hit Row are standing in a row in front of him. Good vibrations by Shinsuke. Mitchell said, imagine Nakamura raps with Hit Row and kills it. What can't Nakamura do? Shinsuke Moneymora said me name's for him, Moneymora. Shinsuke Moneymora. I love it. Very good. Maria, shout out to you. Jimmy said, Top Dollar looks like the character from Fat Albert. Jilly said, time to make coffee. I don't have. Zero interest in this match. Root Beer said, for Austin Theory, he's going to hold the money until for a full year, cash it in at last minute. Zach said, I think 3MB are way better than Hit Row. Nathan said, not a fan of Hit Row. Need to get rid of them. They are boring. Do you think Cedric would be a good fit for Hit Row, said Squidge, but I think maybe. It needs to be someone that I think is also representative of that kind of life that loves rap and that sort of culture. And I don't know if that's Cedric, to be honest. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that kind of displays that they're into like rap music and making music. I mean, I suppose in a way Rick Boogs would fit because he plays guitar and he enjoys making music and they would have that in common. But I don't know if he likes rap music. And again, Cedric, I have no idea if he likes rap music. So I don't know, it's hard, it's a bit tricky. But I don't think it's Nakamura. That one doesn't seem to fit, to be honest. R-Truth, yes! R-Truth! R-Truth would be awesome. Imagine R-Truth coming out with Hit Row. Oh, yes. Yes. R-Truth. R-Truth would be fire. And imagine Hit Row idolize R-Truth. R-Truth's an OG, man. Not only in the ring, but in the rap game. He's had proper tracks out. R-Truth has. And he needs something to do. They could be like sat under his learning tree and imagine him like teaching them, but getting things wrong. And they're all like looking at each other a bit confused, but they don't want to like say anything. So they still write it down, you know, and he's going off on stuff and they're like you could have some real good fun with that. And then largely he could just be on the outside as like in a manager role. But in all fairness, putting him in a tag team is probably, I don't want to say best for R-Truth, but he is almost 50. Like, he's getting on in age. I don't know how much longer he's going to be doing this for. 100% R-Truth. R-Truth fits every way imaginable. Love it. Love it. They should definitely do that. No other answer is correct. No other answer. Even if Swerve comes back, I'll be like, no. Because it's not R-Truth. Paul Carpenter said Hogan versus Bossman, Steel Cage Saturday night's main event. Yeah, he did compete against Hogan. He was but that was when he was a heel, kind of more late 80s. I was into him a bit more into the early 90s when he was a face and he was going up against Nails. I loved him. I mean, it just made perfect sense. You know, he's all about justice and, you know, doing the right thing and getting rid of, like, you know, the bad guys from WWE. It makes sense, doesn't it? The boss man, that's what he's there for. He's there to get rid of the bad guys. So, of course, he's in there competing, trying to, you know, beat them, drive them out of the Federation. He's trying to clean up the Federation. Awesome. And he looked great as well. And I loved his outfit. I mean, you look at a lot of outfits now, they're normally quite dark, drab, black trunks, black trousers, black tops. I mean, I'm just looking here. We've got Nakamura in black trousers. Granted, Ashanti's got some nice white with some patterns on. I respect that. Legado's got just black with a bit of gold on. Not really crazy about what they're wearing. It's all black. It's all quite bland. Ashanti's probably got the best attire. He's got like white with, I think, lots of A's on for like Ashanti the Adonis. But anyway, Boss Man, bright blue shirt, nightstick, used to come down in the cap as well. Yeah, he even had Big Boss Man on the pocket. It's just the little things in it. But yeah, loved Boss Man. He used to wear black trousers, but it had the yellow stripe down the side. It's just so iconic. So iconic. You could dress up as, someone could come as the Boss Man. You'd have no doubt as to who it was. Yeah, you rock up in some black trunks. You could be one of about 1 million different wrestlers. Rock up in a baby blue shirt, Big Boss Man on the pocket, nightstick, black trousers, yellow stripe down the sides. God, cap that says Cobb County, Georgia on it. Oh. Love that guy. Absolutely deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. Should have done more with him. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just a shame that he was around at the time of Hogan. I don't think he ever would have been a world champ, but I don't even think he he was never intercontinental. I can't remember him ever being intercontinental. That's a travesty. The Boss Man should have been intercontinental. Right, we're still underway here with Hit Row. The original Boss Man, Hasbro, is a top 5 figure. Yeah, the second one was disappointing, wasn't it? The first one, where he's got a bit of a belly on him, is great. And the dark shades, that is great. Second one, nowhere near as good. A lot slimmer. Didn't look as good in the face. And his movement was like this. The first one, I remember, was more like that. I think the first one was based on when he was in the tag team with Akeem. But the second one, I think, is more when he's a face. I used to love those Hasbros because they'd come with nightsticks. A lot of figures you'd get, you know, might not get an accessory. Hogan, for example, never came with an accessory. Yokozuna, but Yokozuna was a big figure. But you always got the nightsticks with Bossman. Nakamura looking for the finish. Del Toro is planted down. Remember Bossman used to have the Shield uniform? Yeah, I didn't like that, Bossman. That was Attitude Era Bossman. No. That actually might be why Attitude Era is one that I don't go crazy for. I'm really not the biggest fan of Attitude Era. And it can be summed up, really, by the Bossman. Bossman, when he was a heel, was awesome. Bossman, when he was a face, was, in my opinion, even better, and I loved him as a face. Bossman, when he was, like, in the Attitude Era, and he was kind of working... He was working with McMahon, wasn't he? Yeah, well, didn't feel that. Al Snow and the dog and... Hit Row beats Legado del Fantasma. They're just showing some footage of Logan boxing. But they show some Logan footage. Why are we watching this, says Roman. Paul Heyman said it only takes one lucky punch. He will get him. He will hit him with a lucky punch. Bossman Undertaker dark match, said Karen. I love Undertaker's gimmick in the Attitude Era. It's probably the most morbid Taker ever got, says Will. Logan Paul's got steel pins in his hand. He's had 2 matches, said Roman. Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent point Roman makes. Paul Heyman's trying to warn Roman. He's digging himself a hole. Paul Heyman said, I think it's a good time for me to leave. Paul Heyman warns Roman about Logan's one lucky punch. As we go to commercial. How long we got? 34 minutes. What a travesty. Scott Hall was never a world champion, said Donalds. Sweet Shell said Rikishi is going to be peed off with Sammy being an Uso. Can't wait for him to have his say as one of the heads of the family he meets with elders not long ago. Primo said, what's your stance on Quincy Elliott? He's unique, brings something different, but I think his bending down, showing backside's a bit much. I like Quincy. I think he's fun. I think that like him coming down on his scooter, the whole super diva kind of a thing is fun. Dressing up as a banana at Halloween Havoc was pretty fun. Just sort of like seeing him in ring and seeing what he can do. It's very, very limited. I mean, it's chop, punch, you know, throwing someone down to the mat, splashing them in the corner. It's like a Moss levels moveset. It's just there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And I know that will improve over time, but in ring, there's nothing there. He's got a big size to him though, so when he does that bonsai drop, like, do you know what I mean? It looks impressive, but in all fairness, it looked more impressive, 40 years ago? 30 years ago when Yokozuna was doing it. So my feelings on him are, I think he's fun. I think he can be entertaining. I also have seen some bits from him, though, that I found annoying. There's been some segments I've watched that have been a bit just like he's there making noise. And I'm like, no, that's not the way I would use him. I like him with his scooter. I like him being the super diva. I think you can have too much of him. That's my opinion. I think you can have too much of him. I think he should be fun and bubbly and all of this. I don't need him standing in the ring being sassy. That's what I don't need. I don't need that from him. I don't need him like being all sassy in the ring. What I want is him just coming down being fun with this, like, you know, big guy on a scooter. That's pretty funny. And like, you know, dressing up and just engaging with the crowd and all that kind of stuff. Tick, 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 tick. Love that. But he's got to improve his in-ring, and I think that the sassy side of it can get a bit annoying. So a bit torn, to be honest. I loved him when we were just getting the vignettes. I thought he was awesome because we didn't get like really like the sassy side. He was just fun on the vignettes. But yeah, look, we'll see. It's still early days for him, innit? Still early days. We back for commercial break. Just come back, yeah. Imagine a world where Crockett doesn't stiff Boss Man, whereas scaffold in 87, he went up on the scaffold, was only given 5,000, everyone got 10, and then he left for WWF. LA Knight is here. Last time I checked with the ring announcer, she didn't even get my my hometown right. Here's Ricochet. Hello, mate. You might get a warmer reception if you didn't walk around acting like God's gift. You know what? You're right. I am God's gift to SmackDown. Oh, here's Carrion. So, little confrontation. This must be our main event match. No QR codes or anything so far. As far as Rousey and Shayna, just great. Shoot fighters who can't talk. Who should their manager be? No microphone should be within 1,000 feet of them. Just poor coaching on promos or no skills. Shayna's okay. Okay. I think Ronda, I mean, we've discussed Ronda so many times about her promos. I have to think Ronda is just no skills because there's no way they've not sat down and tried. Like she just, I don't know if it's nerves or someone said she had a speech impediment when she was young and maybe there's some like fallouts from that. I genuinely don't know. But yeah, she just doesn't seem to be able to deliver the inflections that are needed and, you know, get the lines across. God, imagine if you had to see a play with Ronda Rousey in it. Oh my God. Who should be their mouthpiece? It's hard to not say Heyman, isn't it? I mean, you need someone really credible. I would like for it to be someone like Kayla Braxton, though, which I know sounds crazy, but I have said before, you need someone small so that the problem with Heyman is that if he stands next to Ronda, he's got a bit of size to him. Not size as in muscle, but he's just big. And it's not going to make Ronda look very impressive standing next to Paul Heyman. She's going to look small. I sort of feel like you need a small woman. Zelina Vega would have been good. You need a woman that can talk who is small so that it makes Shayna and Ronda look that little bit bigger. Because when you zoom in on it, you've got, say, Zelina in the middle, and then you've got Shayna and Ronda. Once you zoom in, you know, it's very easy to just present Zelina as being like a normal-sized person and that Ronda and Shayna are these two monsters. You can't do that if you've got Paul Heyman standing there, because Paul Heyman's might not be that much taller, but he's just so much bigger. It's just not going to look right. But it's very hard to say. I mean, can you think of a woman that can talk as well as Paul Heyman and is small? Because I would struggle. Do you know who would be good? What's her name? Zelina De La Renta. Zelina De La Renta from MLW. She is someone that's I've only seen a few of her promos, but I know that people rave about her. And I think she is on the smaller side as well. So she would have been good. Right, I think this is our main event. It's Karrion Kross versus Madcap Moss. Dream match. Dream match. Dream match. I've messed up. I've messed up. Hang on. Boom. Charlotte could be a good manager, said Jack. What about Liv? She's a wrestler, isn't she? I mean, I don't think we're saying that they need a faction and like a third person to be a wrestler. I thought we were talking manager. Cross Moss to be the King Goss. Are we getting Bray tonight? Yes, apparently in the main event. What's going on with Bray? Apparently in the main event. Alondra Blaze. Yeah. The only thing there would be the height. That would be my only kind of concern. But, wow, credible. Credible to the max. Loving knowing that Bray is still to come, but the show isn't focused on searching for clues. Yeah, but I prefer that, to be honest. I prefer that. I feel like I'm able to watch everyone else and give all the other superstars the respect they deserve. I mean, I'm still scanning like when we go backstage, but I like the fact that we are able to talk about the show and watch the show and enjoy the show, and we've still got Bray to come. I don't feel like I've been cheated because I've not been getting anything else Bray related, really. I like it. This is how I would present it as well. I think Bray has his segment. I think you can get away with something earlier in the show. A little something. But equally, I think that hopefully they're learning that people are getting distracted by it. Because that was my big criticism of the White Rabbit QR codes. So much fun with them. They were so brilliant. But, I mean, you saw, if you've watched these streams for a while, you would have seen they completely took over the streams. That's all we were doing. I felt embarrassed calling them a Smackdown watch-alongs. What they were White Rabbit QR codes decoded alongs. That's what they became. So, yeah, I could imagine the other superstars, like, getting a bit frustrated that people were not watching their segments, basically. As we were, going to YouTube and ringing up phone numbers and doing all that kind of stuff. So I don't mind it. Mitchell, shout out to you, said they need someone with an MMA background. Someone the WWE knows, maybe Ken Shamrock, form a faction with Lesnar or even Conor McGregor. Conor's a tricky one now, because like Conor, I think one of the very first videos I did back in 2016, I have to see if I can find it again. Oh, I'm sure it's there somewhere. I said, I think who should be at WrestleMania in 2016? That would have been WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 32. And I said Conor, because Conor was blowing up, man. He'd had a big year in UFC. And it was, very clear that, it was just, he was going to the moon. And obviously in 2017, he goes on to face Mayweather in the boxing. And we get the Khabib thing as well, him and Khabib. So I feel like that's when he was at his peak. I feel like he's still a big deal now. And he would still get headlines if he came to WWE. But man, there's a lot of baggage. I mean, he attacked that old guy, didn't he, in the pub? Smashed that person's phone. He comes out with a lot of inappropriate comments on social media. Like, there's not really anything family friendly about Conor McGregor. It's hard to see him in this environment, but he would be such a big draw. And, not everything needs to cater to the kids. But I think Conor's one of those names that's very credible. If they could get him, they would get him. Not for the Ronda thing, but just to get him, basically. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would be as comfortable as maybe a few years ago. But it would be cool. I'd be down for it. Do you think Brock will say Bobby who again to Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel? He could do. Bit quiet right now during the show. Obviously, people are focused on what's coming next, I think. I don't think Madcap's really got much going for him, to be honest. Roadman said, if I was Triple H, I would give you the biggest push. That's very kind. Thank you. I mean, I would turn it down because I think I would represent everything I hate about influencers coming into WWE. I think I would hate myself. So I don't think that's the right way forward. Scarlett's outfit looks like she's going to the bingo. Well, she looks lovely. I can't say I wear that when I go to the bingo, but maybe I should. Very quiet for this. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Molly Holly or Gail Kim? Oh, great question. Great question. Great question. I think the better wrestler is Gail Kim, but I feel like I've got a bit more affection for Molly Holly. Molly Holly, obviously Gail Kim left WWE. I can't remember why. I can't remember if she was released or if she requested it, but I think a lot of her best work was done outside of WWE in like Impact TNA. Molly Holly was, I mean, like she's still working there now. She does a lot of the producing for the behind. I'm sure she will have produced something tonight, Molly Holly. So she's still working with WWE. There was a good chunk of time where she left, of course, but she was, I feel so sorry for her because she was a great wrestler in the wrong era. And I think she is someone that's really passionate. I mean, her induction to the Hall of Fame speech was so interesting. So many people came out saying that she would just do whatever she could to help anyone. She was a lovely person behind the scenes, always wanted to do proper wrestling, didn't want to do bra panties matches, stuff like that. Obviously had fun as well with the whole superhero thing, Mighty Molly, and I really like her. I really like Molly Holly. She's someone I got a lot of respect for. Same as Ivory. Ivory I've got a lot of respect for as well. But I feel like the better wrestler is probably Gail Kim. Dare I say more athletic? Fall Away Slam by Madcap. It's a 7 show, but it is better than Raw, said Alex. Notice they brought back the 5 count. The announcers have mentioned it multiple times, said Tournicade. Can't say I had. Oh. Madcap distracted by Scarlett. Scarlett was standing on the ring steps. Cross. Planting Madcap down. Cross back in control. Ryan, why not Trish Stratus? What for? Do you think Ronda, Shayna, Natalya, Emma in a tag match? I'm down for that. I don't quite know what we do with Emma, to be honest. I don't know quite what we do with her. Because I can't see Ronda losing that title anytime soon. Big shot to the back of the head. Rolling over Madcap. 2, 3, and it is a victory. It is a victory for Karrion Kross. Down the rabbit hole. Scarlett in the ring. Hey, McIntyre. Moss put up much better fight than you did. You stand for nothing. It's a weird time to do a promo, isn't it? Whilst he's choking someone. Where's the officials? Why is no one helping Madcap? Oh, there they are. They let him finish the promo. They must have been there all that time waiting for him to finish the promo. Poor Madcap's like, ah. Hang on. He's almost done. Hang on. He's almost done with his promo. Okay, there we go. Now, let's save him. Let's save Matt. They still haven't broken it. Jeez, they are rubbish. They are rubbish. Poor Mad Cat Man. Lol. The disrespect. Steel cage match. So McIntyre versus Cross inside steel cage. Bray's backstage. Oh, the TV's there. So the Funhouse TV. And we go to commercial break. I don't like how they play his music when he talks. I don't like it. I wish they didn't do it. Lots of images we've seen before on that TV. I don't think there was any images there we haven't seen. Certainly, as I was just watching it, didn't seem to be anything any different. But TV backstage again. I don't like it either. I can't hear what Bray's saying, said Harris. Bully Ray as Ronda's manager. Are you going to change the thumbnail? 3 people on it on the show. Maybe. I mean, we are expecting Charlotte to come back. We don't know where she is. There's been rumors of Sasha coming back as well. So I don't know. I can't say I'm in a rush. Mitchell said Cormier would be another good manager for Shayna and Ronda. William said Bray needs to come out and ask, where is the beef? Days WWE future champion of every championship, said Justin. This is going to be Usi. Usi, 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 Usi. Yes. Right. Bray Wyatt. Let's go, Bray. Let's go, Bray. Let's go, Bray. Bray, Bray, Bray. Like that music with Bray, not all the time. Don't like it when he was talking over the song. Are you seeing UFC 281? Could you scream if Chandler wins? We are planning on watching 281. I don't know how I'm going to react to that, to be honest, because I really like Poirier. Obviously, if it's going to be something pretty epic, if it's going to be a sweet finish. But genuinely don't know on that, because I really like Poirier. I think Poirier will win it. R-Truth is going to rip the theme mask and say, my bad, said Hawkins Jr. Do you think Man United will get Frankie de Jong? No. No. I think they've spent money that they had for de Jong on Casemiro. And, I mean, they need a striker. If we're not going to get a striker in January and we're going to use that money for de Jong instead, then maybe. But I feel like we need a striker because at the moment we're relying on Rashford, who's doing all right, but I think there's better out there. And Ronaldo is not really working out, is it? It's coming back on now. What about UFC triple threats? Don't know. You've got to be watching 2 people at the same time, and that's going to be hard, isn't it? I like the idea of tags. That way it's only ever one-on-one and you know what you're dealing with. But if you're in there with a couple of people and you could get, like, you're watching one and the other catches you, that could be really dangerous. Right, they're just running down the crown jewel cards. I'm expecting Bray to come out. I think it's very interesting that we've seen the TV backstage and that's been shown. Here's Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Oh, someone's challenging Gunter. Rey Mysterio is going to challenge Gunter next week. Oh, he gets attacked. God, if someone was to say, do you want to get interviewed? You'd have to say no, wouldn't you? Imperium. Attack Rey. If you get interviewed backstage, you're being jumped. It's going to happen. Next week, no disqualification match. Liv against Sonya. So Liv against Sonya next week. So Liv versus Sonya. Rey versus Gunter. Hey, Bray segment. Got the door again. This is just part of his entrance, isn't it? This door. I can play this. Ding, 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 ring a ding, ring a ding, ding. They're filming it straight after, yes. Yes. Right, we've got the blue light coming out of the door. We got the door and we got the blue light. Cheer from the crowds. Can't make anything out, but I'm guessing he's emerged. I can't play this, but I can't see anything. What's happening? Oh, there he is. I think the crowd got a bit excited a bit early. But he's making his way down to the ring. There was a cheer from the crowd. I think they thought they'd seen something, but Bray's here with the lantern. Ding, 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 ding. So keep hearing Runaway by Kanye at the beginning. Bray is playing a face and a heel. I'm predicting he'll have an internal feud with himself, says Will. Jake said we need this theme released. What does that mean in like 2022? What I don't know what that means. How do you release a theme in 2022? Like pop to the shops. Because that's what it used to be for me. Is it not on, like, Spotify and things like that? Is that what you mean? I've seen a few people saying that, saying we need this theme released. But in a world where everything's just digital, I don't know what that means. Short promo. Wow, yes. We've got 6 minutes. Yeah. That's a nice picture. They always tell you not to do anything on your phones. Now they're showing people filming on their phones. When I used to go, it used to be all WWE performances are prohibited from recording and all this kind of stuff. You got like a warning before you went to a house show. Please do not film or record the WWE superstars or action. Now they're showing you people recording it. Still new to me. Can you feel that? The adrenaline. Welcome back, champs. Welcome back. When you do that, I feel invulnerable. It's just me and you. There's no mask. No smoke or mirrors. Just me and you. This is Bray Wyatt, the real man. There's been out of control. Said sometimes he doesn't feel anything at all. That his emotions have been out of control majority of his life. That he likes, he's not afraid. Lights out. Here we go. Oh, QR code. Damn. Who am I? Damn. You sent him away. Revel in what you are. That is Bray, innit? Your Uncle Howdy. You'll never be able to hide from me. Your Uncle Howdy. It is Bray. All right, well. That's going to take a lot, isn't it? I thought Bray isn't hiding behind a mask. Sounded more Bo than Wyndham. Bo? I genuinely don't know. I feel like it's Bray now that I've seen it. I thought it was a mask that covered the cheeks, the nose, and the cheeks. It turns out it's a full face mask. So the bottom bit as well is part of the mask. So the whole thing is a mask. It's hard to say who's behind it, but my gut feeling is that it's Bray. But yeah, we're done anyway. I need to shoot because I've got to scan this QR code and see what happens. And obviously we'll have a look at it and get the video out. So I'm going to go off and do that. But first reactions are, feels like that's Bray. Feels like it's a split personality. And it feels like what we just got was the official introduction to Uncle Howdy, where we see his full face for the first time. And he says, you know, what you say you don't wear a mask, but we both know that's not true. Say hello to your Uncle Howdy. I mean, look, he had a psychological evaluation form as well, so we know everything's not great upstairs. So we know there's stuff going on. So my personal gut feeling is that that is Bray. That is Bray. But yeah, I'm going to go and do that QR code and we'll see what we get from it. So appreciate the support, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us and watching. I'll work on all that stuff now. Get the video out as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.